Welcome to James and Sean's Family Spice Bag. This is a podcast where we do a little bit of everything, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So welcome. When I was down home, my sister-in-law, or future sister-in-law, she was clearing out my old bedroom because my nieces are moving in there. And she's like, oh, I'm after finding this bunch of stuff here. And some of it was, it's a big block of photos.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
For anyone that doesn't know, that's me on the left. And this is about 10 years ago, roughly.
Is it that long? Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a decade ago.
Yeah.
So we were
2014.
No, before that, James. We graduated in 2013. No, this is like 2011. Yeah, 10 years.
2011 we went to... Yeah.
We would have been 20 years old in that photo.
God, yeah. Jesus, yeah, it is 10 years, yeah.
So, yes, you were in quarantine last week, and then you had, I guess, the 2 weeks of work. So anything stand out in that time? Do anything fun?
Let me tell you about Eurovision. I put a few bets on, as I do every year. I go to
online or Paddy Power?
Yeah, Paddy Power. I place a few bets. I bet, I think in total about €30 on various different things.
That's a decent amount. It's like not crazy, enough to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And I placed, it was probably about, I think 7 separate bets. Of the first 6 of them, I came out, broke even on them. And the last
That's
one...
not bad.
The last one I won like €25 on it, and it was a bet on the UK to get 0 points, and they did get 0.
I'd heard that.
So I put that money towards the new microphone. So that's thanks to UK doing so badly this year.
Dear Boris and the United Kingdom, thank you for providing for us for James and Sean's Family Spice Bag. Our production values will only increase as long as James keeps betting on your failure. Oh, that's great.
It was a terrible pity for the guy. He got nothing from any of the juries, and then they announced the public votes all in one big go. And they go through each country, saying how many points they got. And he was on 0 points, and they said the public gave you 0 points.
Oh, my God.
It was so humiliating for him, I'm sure.
How much of that was a Brexit reaction, and how much was the song just sucked?
The song was pretty crap. And he wasn't great.
My fire burns low, but as long as you're with me, I'll never get cold.
The song's pretty crap, but I imagine there was some anti-EU sentiment or anti-UK sentiment as well.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty bad song.
You and I gonna light up the room.
And the United Kingdom gets from the public 0 points.
Have you ever heard of Jim Baker? He's I'm not sure how to describe him. He's a fraud, con man, fraudster. He's actually been convicted of fraud in the past, but he runs one of these religious TV channels in America. Where he preaches about a lot about the end of the world, the apocalypse coming.
Oh, he's one of those people that says it's going to be on this date and give me so much money by then, and
he sells. In the past, he sold I think it was real estate, and that's how he got imprisoned for fraud. But then he came back, and now he's selling buckets of food. Buckets of freeze dried food, where you can buy a huge big container full of. Okay.
Oh, I'm distracted by a fly that just flew in. Sorry. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's just a fly.
But he sells big buckets full of freeze-dried fruit and fucking soup and everything.
To get the preppers. That's to fill your bunker.
The preppers, yeah.
Yeah. Pastor Jim says the Lord is coming with fire. Oh, no.
Can you hear that at all?
No.
Okay.
It's fine. What I'll do is I can put the clip in here anyway.
Yeah, you don't really need to hear it anyway.
That's my God, buckets of slop.
And he also says that the buckets, you can use them as latrines afterwards as well. So You know,
to
they're
poop in?
multi-purpose. You can shit in them afterwards after you've eaten
Oh,
your-
and you will have to
Gonna
shit
see.
after that. No, oh, they're eating it live. Oh no, creamy potatoes. Oh,
and
look
they'll
at her
say how
hair.
lovely it is.
Oh my God, look at Karen's hair. Oh wow.
He sometimes feeds it to the audience as well, and they all have to say how
no,
beautiful
no,
and
no, no, no.
delicious it is.
That looks vile.
Looks awful.
That looks
Some of them are filled
vile.
with like they have like fajitas in some of them as well. And they have like 40-year shelf life on them. Here he's feeding his worshippers.
That's
She
horrific.
likes it.
Oh yeah, she does. Why do they always look like that? The people that are into these infomercial type things.
Yeah.
Why are they always 50-plus-year-old women and their husbands who they dragged along? Maybe that's sexist, but look at that crowd. Oh my God. My last week specifically was consumed by two things, James. Family and SPICEBAG.
Okay.
No
As
joke.
in the family spice bag, or was that two
Nope.
separate things in your life?
Two
Okay.
separate things. One family, one SPICEBAG.
Okay.
So I had a family SPICEBAG week just to keep, the theme of the show alive.
Okay.
I made a spice bag with those homemade chicken pieces.
Nice.
So we did homemade chips, that homemade chicken, got that spice bag seasoning, the McDonald's one. I'd never had it.
Okay. Yeah, I've never tried that brand. I tried another brand of it.
Yeah, this
was it
one
like?
was,
Was it good?
it was surprisingly nice. Now, again, so I fried up onions and peppers and chilies. And then when the chips were cooked separately in the oven and then the chicken was fried off, I combined all then into the wok with a little bit of the seasoning, like I think just 2 spoons, and then fried that off just for a couple of minutes to essentially combine it. It was delicious. It was the best spice bag I've ever had. It was staggering. Now, a lot of that was I knew the chicken quality was good. It wasn't from a packet. I'd made it myself. Same with the chips. But that's powder.
Yeah,
that
the
flavoring
fresh
is
ingredients are going to be
always
nicer as well. Like much more flavor to it. Yeah.
So I had that and made like a full trough of it, and we were eating that. It was just delightful. I've been cooking a lot, so sushi and now the spice bag. And then this leads me on to movies and how family came into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I watched all 8 Fast and Furious movies in 3 days.
Why?
James, that is the question I've been asking myself and why I've been looking for work ever since.
Were they good? I mean, I'm sure I've seen at least one of them at some point.
You
But,
have no idea how
were they any
complex a
good?
question, were they good? You've no idea how complex a question that what you've just proposed to me is.
Yeah.
Like I'm still in it. It feels like when you take a long holiday, and when you get back that evening, someone that you meet is like, "Oh, and how was it?" And you're like, "I don't know, man. I'm just here. I don't know what I saw." No, I'll very briefly. I won't go into all 8 of them or the plots or any of that stuff because it's just crazy, and I can't tell a few of them. I don't know. I can't remember what happened in which. The first one came out in 2001. And it was 20 years ago. It's a very, and number 9 is going to be one of the first movies out in cinemas when cinemas open back up in June.
Right. Good.
Which I can't wait to see because now I'm caught up. But it was 2001, The Fast and the Furious, it's called, is very low key, seems super low budget, like medium score, like 50% Rotten Tomatoes. And it's basically about street racing.
Yeah.
Right. So an undercover
Does
cop.
it have The Rock in it? Is he in the first one?
He's
or-
in the later ones. He comes in because something happens in the later ones. But anyway, so the first one is just Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Basically, it's a movie with them.
Vin Diesel is who I was thinking of. Actually, I mix him up.
The
with
Rock.
a lot.
The Rock is in the later ones, and there's a whole thing with that too. So Paul Walker's an undercover cop. He infiltrates Vin Diesel's street racing gang to try and stop them from stealing DVD players and TV VHS combos.
Wow. That's
they're like
aged.
they're like fat TVs with a VHS on the bottom and then separate DVD players. And it's like he's going to steal them and they're worth so much money. And Paul Walker has to infiltrate the gang to get them because he's the best cop that can street race. You know what I mean?
Well, they're black market DVD
players,
wow.
and it's very quaint and it's got very like hip hop Need for Speed Underground vibes. It's very 2001. It's frightfully 2001. Okay?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, it's basically the same movie. It's like 2003. Basically the same movie, except they didn't have Vin Diesel back, so they just had someone else be the kind of side character. So they had like, it's like a buddy cop kind of thing.
Now let's just chill out and go do this. I don't need to chill out. Yes, you do. And you need to stop blaming me for your every mistake. And Roman Pierce needs to start taking responsibility for his own actions. You need to go to hell.
Yeah.
Number three, entirely different cast. It's set in Tokyo. It's called Tokyo Drift. It's again very weirdly quaint movie. The main actor is terrible. He's supposed to play a high school student, but he looks like he's 50.
Where's my car?
I crushed it.
You did what? Sit down. Easy. You're done. You understand me? You're done. And all before your 18th birthday. Now sit down.
And he's got this really bad fake Texan accent, and he keeps street racing, so he gets sent to Japan to live with his father, who doesn't want him, and then he ends up street racing in Japan, and then the Yakuza get involved for a bit, and it's really stupid, and luckily the Japanese aesthetic allows you to get through it. Okay.
たま一度ついておいで世界中魅了するほどに豪華なジャパン一番ジャンプランさうちらの出番テリヤキボーイズ in the place to be 見せてやろうオリジナル VIP
So number 4 is just called Fast and Furious, and it's essentially a reboot. Essentially, a reboot of the first one, and it's the first like official sequel to the first one because it has all those old characters back from the first one.
Okay.
So Vin Diesel's back, Paul Walker's back, and then the rest of the side characters are back from number 1. So number 4 is basically the number 2 to number 1, despite the fact that there's some through lines in 2 and 3, whatever.
Right.
It's very like the first one, except it's taking itself a bit too seriously now.
Right.
And it's gone a bit more action, very serious, very dark, very like, it takes itself seriously in a way that it's not realizing the irony that it's a silly, quaint franchise from the early 2000s.
You here to take me in, O'Connor?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Shut up!
But he was my friend, too.
You weren't anyone's friend.
Yo, can you guys talk about this later?
Yeah.
But then something magical happens at number 5, where the director, Justin Lin, I think, he actually directed 3, 4, 5, and 6, but he kind of realized what this franchise was and what it could be. And then they have this one writer that comes on around then, either number 4 or number 5, and he basically writes all of the rest of them from here on out. So they were basically studio put together movies until this point. And then it basically became one director, one writer, and they took it off. They go from quaint, kind of terrible, cheesy street racing movies to over-the-top, bombastic, insane, stunt-driven superhero car movies that are wildly entertaining.
Really, yeah?
So entertaining that you're like, because they know they're absolutely playing up to the irony of it, the seriousness of it. In the first, one, Vin Diesel, and number 4, Vin Diesel's all super serious and a badass, and he's like, I'll do anything for my family.
You never threaten a man's family?
And that's because that's his acting, is just being grumbly. And he's constantly saying things like family, and he drinks a Corona in the first one, and they do this line in the first one where it's like, you can have any drink you want as long as it's a Corona, But then by number 5, every other character is referencing Vin Diesel saying family.
Family?
Look at our family now.
I already lost my family once.
And do you want a Corona? And he's like, I'm a Corona man. And like everything is like taking the piss out of itself because it knows what it is.
Right, okay.
Plus, they happen to be solid action, almost superhero scripts by that point. So they go from street racing, stealing DVDs, to saving the world from cyber terrorists by using awesome cars.
Street kid. Starts out stealing DVD players in East LA. Ends up heisting $100 million in Rio.
Not bad, huh?
It's a good story, isn't it?
There's a scene in number 7 where there's a car in a penthouse in the top floor of a Dubai skyscraper that they drive out and use a boost button to fly it out of the window to the next skyscraper. And then they fly it to the next one.
Dom, cars don't fly! Cars don't fly! Oh, shit!
And I think it's either 6 or 7 where they fly cars out of a plane. Okay? And they just perfectly can angle them to then have a parachute come out and drive on a road. Like, it's so fucking crazy and over the top, and they know it. They know exactly what they're doing. So you even look at the Rotten Tomato scores. Number 1, about 53%. Number 2 and 3, somewhere in the like 20 to 40%. Number 4, again, about 40, 50%. Number 5, 6, and 7 all have above 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, wow.
And this is something I didn't expect because I had watched all the first 6 in 2 days. I put on number 7, and number 7 is the one that Paul Walker died while they were filming it.
Oh, right.
So basically, he was one of the main two. Him and Vin Diesel were the main 2 people of the franchise. He dies tragically in an automotive accident in 2013, I think. Which terribly tragic, you know, quite a young person. He's helming this franchise they make $1 billion, these movies now. Yeah, even the first ones didn't make anything, but because people have got on board for how crazy they go. But I wasn't ready, and again, because I was living in that world so much, they have like a tribute to Paul Walker at the end of number 7.
Oh shit, really? Wow.
So they used his brothers to finish the filming of his scenes because he didn't get to finish them, and they like CGI his face on. Now most of it is shot obscurely and in the dark. You don't really notice. It's not too over the top. But then at the very end, the movie's over, the plot has resolved, you expect credits. It cuts to Paul Walker, his in-movie wife, and his in-movie son. Now it's clearly the CGI on the brother's face or whatever, but he's playing with his son. And then the rest of the actors like Vin Diesel and Tyrese Gibson and all these other people have a real moment of, and they say stuff like, it's not going to be the same anymore, is it? And again, they kind of go very real with it.
Yeah.
And it's and that's when I felt like my heart start to like shake. Yeah. And I was getting like, am I choking up here? And I was like, oh no. And then Vin Diesel drives away, and Vin Diesel can't act. He's terrible. Even his acting can't ruin how fucking strong this end scene is. And it's even a Sam Smith song playing, and I fucking hate Sam Smith, and that can't even ruin how sad this moment is. And like Vin Diesel's at like a traffic light because he drove away without saying goodbye, and then the Paul Walker stand-in or whatever basically goes, "You didn't think you'd leave without saying goodbye, could you?" And then the music like swells up, and then it cuts to a montage of all of his scenes from the previous movies. And like him smiling and having a good time and all the fun stuff, and because I had just been on that journey myself, it hit me so fucking hard. And okay, here's the thing: Martha wasn't with me for 1 and 2. By number 3, she was on board, and she watched the rest of them with me because she couldn't believe how ridiculous they get.
Yeah,
we were both watching that Paul Walker scene. We couldn't do anything for the rest of the night because we cried so hard.
Yeah,
like we both cried our eyes out. It's staggeringly heartbreaking. And again, like we were in it. We had just been experiencing him and all that. And oh, it's so fucking sad though. It was so heavy that like we turned off the TV when it was done. We sat on the couch and we were just depressed. We were just depressed and like, I can't do anything tonight, man. I really don't feel good. You know, nothing could bring us out of the funk until I went on my TikTok, and that helped a little bit. But yeah, really sad. And then number 8 is the first one without him, and it's not as good. And like, it's fine. It's stupid enough, you know, like the rest of them. It is bombastic and over the top. And apparently, The Rock and Vin Diesel don't get on at all, though.
Really, yeah.
Because
I
apparently,
can't imagine, yeah.
The Rock, you see, supposedly has a really good work ethic, and he's on time to set, and he's always training, and he's all positive attitude. And Vin Diesel is apparently the opposite. Supposedly quite the diva on set, shows up when he wants, you know, thinks he's number one kind of vibe, and that goes back to maybe he says things he shouldn't with interviewers or whatever. All speculation. I've only read it online. But The Rock now won't do them anymore because of Vin Diesel. And The Rock was one of the better parts, because he comes in number 5 and he's chasing them down because they're criminals. But then they turn to the good guys where they're taking down terrorists, so The Rock is with them then in the next ones.
Dad, what's going on?
Daddy's gotta go to work.
It's
and
very...
Is he in number 8, or has he stopped doing?
He's in number 8, but he's not in number 9 that's just about to come out, I believe.
Right,
I haven't seen it, but I believe he won't work with Vin Diesel again.
Yeah. Okay.
So family, because Vin Diesel constantly says family, or other people say family to him over and over again.
Almost killed my family.
Hosting his family in the Dominican Republic at his vacation.
We need to stop him before he does any more damage to our family.
Family.
My family.
But what's real is family. A family. A family.
And then I made my own spice bag for the first time.
Yeah, very nice.
Family spice bag. Thank you. Sorry, that was a long rant about Fast and Furious, but I've had no one to get this off my chest with.
Do you know who I believe was a big fan of Fast and Furious? I believe Frankie Muniz
really
plays Malcolm in the Middle. Because I seem to remember, I think we talked about him on one of the episodes. He now runs a shop that sells like olive oil and balsamic vinegar. That's all they sell. But I believe he bought one of the cars from Fast and Furious. Apparently that's the one that he bought.
Oh, look at that. The original Jetta, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's Paul Walker that signed it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Brian O'Connor. It's so sad. Dude, I'm still fucking depressed over it. I'm so depressed over Paul Walker's death. And it's been 8 years or something. To go back to your question, are they good? The answer is they both are and are not. And I love them.
Yeah, I didn't watch many films the last 2 weeks. I'm trying to think. Definitely nothing as heavy as that or with any kind of substance to it. The only thing I remember we put on just kind of in the background was Hook. You ever seen that?
Hook, the Robin Williams as Hook?
Yes,
no, Robin Williams as Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, yeah.
Yes, I saw that as a kid.
I'd never seen it. I didn't like it though, and I don't think you'd like it either, because I think I remember you saying one time that you really don't like the sound of like a group of children singing or like a choir of children singing.
I hate it more than anything.
Yeah, I do as well. And in this film, there are a few songs which are sung by all the child characters, which is loads of. And it's like nails on a blackboard. It's like, ugh.
It hits me that way.
The other thing I found I actually really don't like is children whispering. Which is a strange thing, but yeah, there's a bit where a little boy whispers to Peter Pan, Robin Williams, and he says, "I believe in you."
Oh no! Oh no! No, I'm not into that at all. That's like ASMR gone bad.
Yeah, totally.
Because you know that like there's some. It's because you know there's some fucker that enjoys that too much. That's why it's creepy.
It's unsettling. Yeah.
I don't want a kid to fucking whisper me. Like if a kid ever came up to me and said, "Hey, let me whisper something," I'm like, "You're all right, bro. I don't need the information that badly at all. You're fine. Keep it to yourself."
What also annoys me is that phrase, "I believe in you." And I feel like, what the hell does that mean?
When I worked on The Flash, I noticed that every script was basically the same, and it was exactly that. Okay, so it was the bad guy was always a fast-running fucker as well, and it was always Barry is the name of the Flash, Barry Allen.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm not fast enough, and then somebody would just go into his little monitor. I believe in you, Barry. And he's like, okay, I'm fast enough now. Like, I believe in you. Okay, but how is that going to help you?
It's such a weird, meaningless film phrases. You only ever hear in films, and especially American films.
Do you know what's a phrase I really hate? It comes up a lot in action movies, especially Fast and Furious as well. We've got company. But like sometimes you could just say, oh, there's someone here, or we're being chased, or anything different. We've got company. It's not cool, man.
Yeah.
Star Wars has a lot to answer for back in 77 for giving us all these fucking tropes.
I've been on Tinder quite a bit recently. I think especially with the nice weather now, you think, oh, this would be good to, meet up with people or something. I had never paid attention to people's interests or passions, I believe they're called, on Tinder, where people tag the things that they're interested in. And it was only after you mentioned to me to look out for how many people say they're into hiking. And so as a result, with everyone, I've been looking at what things do they say they're passionate about. Hiking is definitely one of the most common. Which I don't believe that many people actually go hiking.
And it's like, what does that even mean? I like having a walk. Well, yeah. I mean, it does feel better than sitting down all the time.
Yeah. Some people just put outdoors, which I think, okay, that's fair
a little,
enough. You like
it's pretty bad though, because I like indoors and outdoors. Oh no, that's all. That's all the things. Those are the options.
Yeah.
Oh,
Netflix
God.
is another very common one. Again, I think is a bit generic.
Do you know what bothers me about that? Netflix has become, when people call all crisps Tato.
Yeah.
Or all vacuums are Hoover in this country.
Yeah, being passionate about Netflix means you like television and films.
Yes, you like entertainment.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool, man.
I don't have anything listed on mine. I don't bother putting them in because I think, I don't know, whatever I put in is going to either put people off or are going to be super generic. And so I think what's the point, really? It's like if someone asks you, what kind of music are you into? I always hate that question because, how do you answer that?
It's a terrible question. It's a bad question from the beginning.
It is a bad question, yeah.
Yeah. What kind of music are you into?
I was watching a bit of, there's a comedian called Norm Macdonald, and he does a YouTube show, and he's got kind of a sidekick character or a sidekick guy. And one of the running jokes is that the sidekick, they have a celebrity guest on, another comedian or something. And one of the running jokes is that the sidekick will ask them, he'll say, one question I want to ask you is, where do you get your ideas from? And the joke is that that's the most pointless, generic question that, totally meaningless. It's like asking someone what kind of music you're into, or where do you get your ideas from?
I don't even have what can you say to that? It's so bad. Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah.
Well, they're ideas, so they come from places. I mean, what? What are you asking?
It's the kind of interview question that I imagine when I was on back in college doing DCUFM, I probably would have asked interviewees questions like that.
Sure.
Really stupid ones that fucking every little kid will ask them,
You look so movie lit right now with that camera. It's staggering. You look I look like a boiled tomato, and you look like a fucking movie star.
Oh yeah, this thing I saw on the news. It was one of these real life mystery things. I actually wrote a blog post about it back in college. And when I heard about this on the news, I'll tell you what the story was, but I looked back on my old blog post. I managed to find my blog. That I wrote in, I think it was 2011. That was the blog post was from.
So from when that photo was taken that we showed.
It was, yeah.
And here it is again.
But one of the posts was about this kind of mystery in Australia in the 1950s. This body was found on a beach, and he had like no ID on him. He was really well-dressed man, suit, shirt and tie, and he'd been poisoned by something, but they never were able to detect what kind of poison it was. He had no ID. All the tags were removed from his clothing and was never identified. And there was a load of weird little clues that came up over the years where like they found a secret pocket inside his trousers. Like months and months later, the police realized there was a secret little pocket in there. And inside it was a piece of paper torn out of a book of poetry. And eventually they tracked down the book. It had been left in the back seat of an unlocked car nearby where the body was found. And the book had like a phone number in it for a lady who lived down the road from the beach. She always insisted she didn't know the guy, but her son, who was 1 year old at the time, had a lot of unusual physical characteristics that matched the dead guy. So they had a weird kind of ear, the both of them had. The dead guy was missing some teeth from birth, and the boy was also missing those teeth. Anyway, it kind of went cold at that point, but there's a guy in Australia who's been campaigning for years to get the body exhumed of the unknown man and DNA tests done. And finally, after like 10 years of campaigning, last week they dug up the mystery man. And they're going to try and get some DNA from him. He's been in the ground for like 70 years, but they said his body is in surprisingly good condition. And they're hoping they'll be able to get some DNA to firstly identify him and also know whether that lady's son was his son as well. But there's a load of other weird details to the story as well. You can read my blog post if you want to read more about it.
Well, I was going to say, now you can finally write that second blog entry.
Yeah, 10 years later. Yeah.
You finally have an excuse to write that up. I think
all my readers will be able to catch up on it. Totally could do a video of it. I don't want to go into the whole story now, so we'd be sitting here for an hour talking about it, but it's a really cool, interesting story.
To be fair, I did go on for quite some time about the Fast and Furious movies, and this seems to have a little bit more content and interest, James. So, but I get you. I probably should have done my own special video on the Fast and the Furious franchise. Fuck's sake.
I mean, anytime I'm down in Wexford, that seems like the perfect place for some kind of ghostly activity. And I'm secretly a little bit disappointed about how few spooky things happen there. We're across the road from a graveyard and everything. There ought to be ghosts galore in that house,
No spooky things ever happened to you down there?
The only kind of spooky thing, but there's a very obvious explanation for it, is the downstairs bedroom. It's like in your house, the way there's the bedroom and then the hall and then the rest of the house.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, the draft that will come in through the hall door will make the bedroom door pop open because the bedroom door doesn't close properly, just kind of wedges in. So when I was a kid, I knew that was something that would happen, and that would always be a little bit startling when the door just pops open in the middle of the night. So what I'd do is I'd leave the door slightly ajar, and that way the gust of wind would just come in through the door, wouldn't push it. But one night I was lying in bed, and the door just slowly swung like pretty much the whole way open. And I looked to see if there was someone coming in, but there wasn't. Obviously it was just wind, but it was weird that it just swung like the whole way in one steady motion.
Did it do the cliche like sound effect and everything?
I don't think it did, no. I think it was pretty silent, but silent was a little unnerving as well.
Silent can be, yeah, especially if something normally makes a sound, to not hear one would be pretty unnerving. You'd be like, oh no, I've gone deaf or it's a ghost. Yeah. I would just love to see a ghost. It'd be fucking something different. It's fucking life. Real life is boring, and it's bills and it's jobs and it's a bit of fucking ooky spook would be great. The spookiest place I was ever in was when we filmed at this abandoned insane asylum in called Riverview.
I was up there once before. Yeah, Riverview. That is a very spooky place.
Oh man, that place is creepy. So me and at the time, the first time I was there, I was a PA, and me and the other PAs, we were just fucking around, and we had a bit of extra time to do nothing. And so we all started egging each other on to go up to the 4th floor. So the 4th floor was where the lobotomies happened. And you can still see they have the tools are still there. And really? Some of the operating beds are still there. And there's even some stains on the floor that's clearly blood. right? And so we had the bottom 2 floors lit like a fucking Christmas tree because the production. So there's those big 5K lights and 10K lights all around the building, super bright. 4th floor, no one was up there. There were no lights. It was dark as fuck. And then you're seeing these tools and creepy shit. And like when you step in the door of a room, it's so dark that you can't see what's in the room. Yeah. And we did it purposefully without like having our phones on or torches on. Just wanted to go up in the dark. And then I remember me and this guy, Aaron, we egged each other on to walk into one of the creepier rooms with all the tools. Within 2 seconds, we were both sprinting away because we freaked each other out, you know? I started to feel presences. We ran the whole way down to the ground floor and I looked at my arm and I was bleeding. And now clearly I had ran into something in the panic on the way down, but I didn't feel it because the panic. But everyone was like, oh, a ghost got you. You almost got by the ghost. And I was like, probably not though, you know?
I've probably told you about this story of the time I saw a lady on the beach. Yeah, it was down in Wexford on Kirklow Beach. I was there with 2 of my cousins and my cousin's girlfriend as well. And we were walking, there's a forest along the beach. We walked through the forest and it was starting to get dark, I remember. So we thought we better cut out onto the beach and walk back towards the car park. And when we got out onto the beach, a thick, really thick fog would come in. The thickest fog I've ever seen. Like you could only see about maybe 3 meters ahead of you.
Wow.
And on the beach is just sand and then just white mist. But we walked for ages and we thought
haunting and beautiful, I would imagine, in equal measures.
Beautiful because there was a lighthouse nearby and you could see the beam of light through the fog. It was really gorgeous. But at one point we thought we must be near the path to the car park. So I volunteered to go run up to the top of the sand dunes and have a look. So I went up to the top of the dunes and I could see the lights of the car park were like straight ahead. So I thought, grand, the path is nearby. So I turned around and was walking back down towards the sea and I saw the outline of 3 people sitting on one of the kind of sand dunes. And I thought that's obviously my 2 cousins and cousin's girlfriend. So I walked up to them and I said, oh, the car park's right here. And they didn't respond. So I walked up closer and saw a woman sitting there. She was looking up at me, blank expression, kind of maybe in her 40s, and was wearing a hood like a raincoat or something. And I got a little bit startled because I thought we were the only people out on the beach. And I said to her, like, oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. And she didn't respond. I looked at the 2 people beside her and realized they were just like tufts of grass that vaguely made the shape of a person. I look back at her, I can still see her. And it crossed my mind that maybe she's also I'm just seeing grass as making a human face or something. And so I moved slightly to see her from a different angle and she just kind of disappeared into grass and sand. It was just a tuft of grass that from that very specific angle in the low light and fog looked like distinctly like a person.
James.
And I absolutely fucking ran down the dunes. And the rest of them, there were 3 of them
like
were standing
nothing else.
Just over there. I said, did you hear me talking to someone? They said no, and I told them what I saw, but anyway. Yeah.
James,
weird.
Is it possible, okay, stay with me on this.
Okay.
You and I are 2 skeptics who both say, God, I'd love to just see one. Who, by all accounts, you've seen a ghost and I got attacked by one. And we're just so skeptical. We're just like, I'd love some proof. I mean, never mind the blood or the old woman I talked to. I need some proof, hard evidence.
Yeah, well, there's definitely people who would take that as being hard evidence.
Sure, and
absolutely
that's
definitive proof.
There's a lot of fun in the story. It's beautiful. It's totally, fun. Yeah. It's creepy. It gives you the like, ooh.
Yeah. It reminds you of being a kid and telling ghost stories. It's great. Well, it's like those ghost hunting programs. There was one. It was a UK one with Derek Acora on it. I can't remember what it's called. But loads of the stuff they capture would be orbs, you know, on the video, and it's very clearly a dust or something and lens flare. You know, that's where you're seeing an orb. You'll see that with any camera in a dusty room. Or
I saw a fantastic commercial recently for one of those ghost hunting shows, but it was a predominantly or almost exclusively black presenters and cast.
I knew that's what it was going to be. I think I'm psychic. Somehow I knew it was going to be an all-black ghost hunting show.
And it was like Ghost Hunting Brothers or something it's called.
There's a new team of paranormal investigators here to answer 2 questions about ghost hunting. Are ghosts for real? And
why is everybody white? What we're playing, man? Oh my God.
Well, if you are here, please reveal yourself.
I'm Dalen, the leader of the group. We're 3 best friends who all had paranormal experiences as kids. Now that we're grown, we're not afraid to look for answers.
It's hot, man. Yo, this is not no Magic Mike, dog.
I'm Juwan, and I'm a ghost brother.
Are you okay with us working together as equals?
We know what happens in every horror movie when the brother's by himself.
My name is Marcus, and I'm a ghost brother.
Time to pop the trunk on these ghosts. You all right?
It's just wires and cobwebs, homie. You are not welcomed on this property. Our mission is to hit the most haunted locations in America to prove that ghosts are for real.
Slime!
We are the Ghost Brothers.
But that's seems to be the entire premise of the show. It's one of those normal ghost hunting shows, but it's just them going, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
The entire time and running out like, oh, dog, no way, man. I got to get out of here.
Bro,
I can see why they say black folks don't do this stuff.
The Ghost Brothers.
So this is our now famous segment, our most famous segment of the show, called Browsenhausen. Browsenhausen for you. Where James and I solve the housing crisis in Ireland, one daft post at a time. So what I did was I went on Daft. And I did like you did. I set my budget to what I think I'm going to be making in a few years. And I found myself something not dissimilar to what we saw before. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So, you know, I expect to be making $3 million in the next 5 years. And I thought, this place looks pretty bitchin'. And it's in Kildare as well, quite close to where I live now.
Yeah, Barstown House. I've heard of that place.
9 bed, 8 bath. Nearly 1,000 square meters. I love the way they put detached in. If you're like, there's not like some fucking knacker flat on the side, 2-bedroom house beside it. Dude,
I mean, 3 million is not bad for that.
It's really not. Wait till you see this. First of all, look at it.
Some ordinary houses in Dublin can be $1 million, you know?
Look at that place and tell me, 1, either you want to live there, or 2, it reminds you of the haunted shit that we've been talking about all night.
It could well be haunted, but it's kind
of both. Well, okay, so I saw this because I was Browsenhausen. That's trademarked, by the way. Nobody can take that name.
I love the chimneys.
Yeah, and I love this.
Tower. Yeah,
I love the tower. I want to have my morning coffee in that tower and have a nice fucking vape and a bit of coffee and look out on my land, survey the land, see what the peasants are up to, you know, working the gardens. Then,
I wonder how much land it comes with.
I'm not I might say in the ad post, because I never got past the pictures because I was like, I wanted to save this for showing you.
Do you think the sheep are included?
Oh, yeah, they would be house sheep. Some say they've been there since the house was built.
They're ghost sheep. Yeah.
They're ghost sheep. That's a good band name, Ghost Sheep. So I imagine this is the driveway. It looks like the tower in the distance that you can see back there.
Yeah.
Which is just beautiful. Oh my God, driving in. And I imagine one of those like 1940s Rolls Royce or something rolling up the driveway. Yeah. Look at that shot. There's actually a Bentley, I think, in the drive there. Look at that place.
Yeah.
It is, and this river here or whatever stream runs right through it as well.
Yeah.
So you've got your own little roundabout in there with a kind of shit little ornament in the middle. It's not great.
It's a bit
generic. I would put a statue of myself there, or a giant gorilla or orangutan made out of gold.
Definitely the orangutan, just go there.
Yeah, right? Just something that's very dominant and saying like, here I am and I'm a millionaire. Lovely little courtyard kind of area and your own park. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
Oh, imagine hanging out there on a day like today.
And now
having
this is
all
why
your
I
friends.
still end up buying lottery tickets. Like, I know it's a waste of money, but if you won, you could.
If you
lose
won,
something like
James,
this.
okay, here's the thing. If I won a place like this, or if I ended up, or pardon me, when I have €3 million and I buy somewhere equivalent to this, I think I'll just have, and as antisocial as I can be, I would have people over at least once a week to enjoy it. You got to share a place like this.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
You got
As
it.
well, it's such a big house. If you're just
You could
knocking
stay
around
in
there
the
on
West
your own,
Wing, and they could hang out in the East Wing, and then you just fucking don't even have to see people. Look at that. Imagine having like a morning breakfast or a brunch with your love while you're watching the water run by on a beautiful summer morning.
Yeah.
This,
that's quite a ceiling.
whatever room this is, and look at the two sets of archways. This is some form of just room. Like, this is one of those rooms that doesn't even have a function. It's just a room.
Yeah, it's just a hallway, yeah.
And then you've got your stairs.
Wow.
Look it up here. And I always love what do you call it? Like not a balcony, a landing,
mezzanine kind of thing. Isn't it?
Yeah, that has the banister that goes around in a circle like that you can view down, like a shopping center, but in your own home. You know that kind of vibe. Look at this place, and of course, every painting would be of me or my friends in that style. So,
it's got a slight feel of Hotel California, the hotel that's on the album cover. It's kind of look like that. It has that kind of mezzanine thing, and it's got these arches with a slight Spanish feel to it.
Oh shit! I just noticed there's like family crests in the corner as well.
Yeah, I saw them in the earlier photo. Yeah,
You and I could write a really, really great album here. We'll call it Hotel Newbridge. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Don't you just want to sit there on a summer day?
Wow. The kind of barrel ceiling and everything.
I mean,
wow.
This is my jam. This is the place I want to live.
I'm not mad about the design on the sofas.
No, even the carpet, even the carpet is no good. I would change the curtains. I'd paint the walls. It's the potential. The potential for this place is staggering. Look at that old school range and everything. You've got this little sink on the island and everything, so it's been modernized a bit. It's not totally
it is modern.
Dilapidated as it could otherwise been. Oh, and then there's the dining room that you could have your murder fucking mystery party in.
Again, awful cloth on the chairs, but
even the carpet is terrible. It's like a pink,
it is
garish. It's hideous. But shit, man, that potential for that dining room is amazing.
Do you know there's a level in the new Hitman 3? It's in a house very like this, and it's actually a murder mystery theme to it. Yeah,
you're kidding. I hate those horses. I really hate those little horse statues.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah.
The fireplace I love.
Is pretty stunning. Yeah,
it's gorgeous. There's such potential in this property.
God, $3
Look at this
million is
library.
good value for this.
Look at this library, James. I love it so much. I love it. I want to live there. I would not get rid of those chairs. Brown leathers with those buttons. I need to be in there at nighttime reading a book.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be in there in my life.
I'm going to buy another lottery ticket now tonight after seeing this.
This chair over here, imagine the fire's on. You've got this reading lamp here. You've got your favorite book that you've just gotten into that you can't put down. You know when you get into a book and you can't put it down, you know you should go to bed, but you're like, no, I gotta keep going.
There's even like lights over the pictures. The paintings have a little fitted light and all. Yeah.
Would you believe my sister's house has painting or light fixtures built like that for some reason?
Really, yeah.
It's a normal house, but for some reason, some of the walls have those exact types of lights.
Notions.
As if notions. People with notions. Whoever lived there before was like a tacky person who thought that they could make their place look fancy, I'm sure. Bar. An actual bar, which would be magical to drink in. A little bit, what do you call it? The Shining.
Yeah. I wonder, actually, when I first saw it, I wondered had it been a hotel ever previously, but it doesn't look like it. From seeing the few rooms we've seen, looks like it was a house, not converted into a hotel.
Yeah, or maybe it is a thing that was rented out for, like, bachelor parties or something.
It could well be in weddings, things like that, yeah.
And then you've got that beautiful, come on. That's just there's almost nothing you need to do to that. That's a beautiful, like
You have your card
almost
games
conservatory. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is like just an extension of that. It's not great. It's a bit messy. But
it's a bit cold looking, but
but it is basically a big conservatory if you look at the roof, which you could do a lot with, I think. And I think it would actually be quite warm in the sunshine. Again, you've got so many rooms, it doesn't matter if a couple of them are shite. Gym, they've converted one room into a gym, which is fine. You could make that a little better. It's very minimalist. I mean, they have a cassette player, fucking
a ghetto blaster, I believe.
A boombox.
That's what the kids call them these days. Yeah,
I believe so. I believe that is a 2021 term. And then there's another shot of the stairs. Oh man, I love the layout. I love that roof thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And then we start getting into the bedrooms. They're very hotel-like or like B&B, fancy B&B type. There's one that's really hilarious. So that's just, that's a nice one there. Beautiful bathroom. I love that bath. Wow. I love the bath in the middle like that.
Yeah.
Candles lit all along the sides. Bring that ghetto blaster in. Like if you bring the ghetto blaster in and then you put on like, some really nice Barry White or something. And yeah, really just sensual.
Oh, there's swastikas on the wall.
I love that the bed in here looks like Chinese porcelain. I don't know why. It's so tacky, but it just fits a house this big.
Yeah, like the headboard matches the thing.
Yeah, the headboard matches the bed sheets. When has that ever happened?
I know, yeah.
What I love about this is the window isn't tinted or frosted.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is on your estate looking in your bathroom window when you're this rich. You can bidet yourself to your heart's content. To your heart's content, outside, and no one is going to be looking in, just the trees and the birds. That is a baller move. That is gangster as fuck. I love it.
The only downside is it looks like it's half carpeted.
Oh my God, that is carpet. Ew, by the bath.
Carpet in the bath and toilet and bidet.
Oh, the drops would get on it. That's nasty. I'd rip that up immediately.
Why didn't they just tile the whole thing? They tile it over by the shower.
That is weird. Maybe they piss in the shower and then that's it.
Oh, maybe.
And like maybe they bath in the other bathroom that has you got enough bathrooms, it doesn't matter.
That's the thing, yeah. You
just don't use that toilet.
Yeah.
Oh. And then another room, 4-poster bed. Awful wallpaper, like really terrible.
True, yeah. But I like the dark wood and everything.
I like
hunting lodge.
Green, dark green and mahogany kind of wood are beautiful. Yeah. The pattern though of that wallpaper is awful. You have a house attached as a side.
Oh, a little like gatehouse.
A little mini gatehouse thing that's bigger than most fucking apartments that you can rent now for $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
Another shot of that again, and it's like kind of gorgeous just to have that on your land.
It is, yeah. It's so pretty.
And it has its own garage. Like the side house attached has its own freaking garage. And a tennis court also. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Your own tennis court. You'd be fit as a fiddle. Time's moving way too fast. I wanna make it last. 'Cause I'm out on my own now, and I like the way it feels. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on what's my name again? James and Sean's Family Spice Bag, episode 4? Question mark?
4, yeah.
No one must ever know what happened during episode 2.
Lost in the archives, yeah.
Thank you, anyone who has happened to see this and joined us. If someone accidentally stumbled onto this on YouTube, let us know how we can improve and do better.
Yeah, comment, like, and subscribe.
Smash
hit the
that
bell
like
icon.
button.
Smash the bell icon.
Smash it. You gotta smash it. You can't just hit it gently. I want to fucking see you punch your iPad. All right, man. Take it easy.